I raised my stepdaughter for 12 years. She introduced her biological dad as the real father at her wedding, so I got up, left, and took my checkbook with me. Hello everyone, welcome to Reddit Visuals. Let me tell you a story that still makes my stomach twist when I think about it. A story of loyalty, betrayal, and a lesson I never thought I'd have to learn the hard way. I hope you've got a strong heart, because this one doesn't just sting, it burns. So let's rewind a bit. I met my wife, Sharon, when her daughter Lily was just 6. Her biological father had skipped out when she was barely a toddler, one of those deadbeats who pops up once every few years with a cheap birthday card and a story about how busy life has been. Sharon had been holding it down on her own, and I respected that. I wasn't looking for instant dad duty, but I fell in love with both of them faster than I could process. The moment Lily fell asleep on my chest watching Finding Nemo just 2 months into dating, that was it for me. Hook, line, and sinker. We got married within a year. I officially became the guy who packed school lunches, taught her how to ride a bike, coached her soccer team. I went from having 0 parenting experience to braiding her hair and learning how to sew her dance recital costumes when Sharon had a night shift. I wasn't perfect, but I tried. God, did I try. Over the years, stepdaughter turned into my daughter. The word step disappeared. I never adopted her legally. Her bio dad always objected, said he was still present. But I paid for her private school tuition, braces, summer camps, therapy when she had her first heartbreak. I was there, always. She called me dad since she was 7. Now, fast forward. She's 18, getting into college. I cover tuition in full. No loans, no part-time job. Just go study and make something of yourself. She cried when she opened her acceptance letter. I still have the video saved. She ran into my arms screaming, "I did it, Dad!" So when she got engaged at 24, I cried too. Not because she was getting married, but because I had this fantasy in my head that I'd walk her down the aisle, give the speech, maybe ugly cry a little in front of her future husband, say something dumb like, "You hurt her, I'll hurt you," and everyone would laugh and drink and dance. But life doesn't always give you the fairy tale ending. The first crack in the glass came when wedding planning started. I offered to pay. Venue, catering, dress, everything. I had a savings account labeled Lily's Wedding since she was 10. It had close to $35,000 in it. Not a small chunk of change, but she was worth it. Or so I thought. Sharon was thrilled. Lily seemed hesitant. At first I chalked it up to stress. Weddings are a logistical nightmare. But then she started leaving me out of discussions. No questions about the guest list from my side of the family. No mention of whether I'd be giving a speech. And not a single conversation about walking her down the aisle. One night I finally asked. We were having dinner, just the 3 of us. "So, Lily," I said, trying to sound casual, "I'm assuming I'll need to rent a tux, right? Father of the bride duties and all?" She went quiet. Dead quiet. Sharon froze too, eyes darting between us. Lily put her fork down and said, "Actually, we were thinking it might be better if my real dad did that." I felt my soul leave my body. "Your real dad?" I repeated, trying not to lose it. "You mean the guy who ghosted you every year on your birthday?" Sharon jumped in fast, like she saw the mushroom cloud forming. "Honey, let's just—" "No," Lily cut in, voice cold. "Look, I love you. You've done a lot. But biologically, he's still my father, and I want to honor that." She said it so matter-of-factly, like she was choosing between chicken or fish on the menu. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline. It never came. That night, I barely slept. My wife tried to soothe me, saying things like, "She's just emotional. It's her big day. Don't take it personally." But how else could I take it? I was being erased from the biggest day of her life. Like I was just a temporary fixture until the real dad could come sweep in for his hero moment. Still, I told myself, don't make it about you. Be there anyway. Support her. That's what dads do. So I kept quiet. I paid the deposits. Venue, photographer, catering, dress fittings. I smiled through the meetings, though the pit in my stomach grew larger every day. I even wrote a speech. I practiced it at night when no one was home, just in case. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened at the actual wedding. Picture it. A beautiful outdoor garden, string quartet playing, guests settling in. I'm seated in the second row. Second. Not beside her, not standing up front. I swallowed my pride and kept clapping with everyone else. Then it happened. The announcer's voice rang out, "Please rise for the bride and her father." And down the aisle came Lily, arm in arm with her biological dad. I watched her smile at him, laugh at something he whispered. I saw the way she beamed up at him like he'd always been there, like the last 12 years hadn't even existed. And when they reached the front, she turned to the crowd and said, and I quote, "I'd like to thank the real father who showed up for me today. It means the world." Real father. I felt my face go cold. Sharon turned to me, eyes wide in panic, mouthing, "I'm sorry." I stood up, quietly. No scene, no yelling. I walked down the side aisle, past the stunned guests, down the gravel path, straight to my car. And you know what I did before I left? I opened my checkbook. I took out the final check, the one meant for the balance on the catering, DJ, and flowers, and I ripped it, right, down, the middle. I didn't say a word, just drove home, radio off, windows down, that kind of silence that feels deafening. My hands were shaking on the wheel. About 3 hours later, my phone started blowing up. Sharon first, then Lily, then her uncle, her best friend. Her real dad even had the audacity to call me and say, "You're ruining her big day." I let it all go to voicemail. 2 days later, Sharon came home with her bags. Said Lily was distraught. Vendors were threatening to cancel. They needed the final check or the reception wouldn't happen. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "I gave her everything, everything," and she thanked him. Sharon started crying, saying it was just a mistake, that Lily didn't mean it that way. But she did. She absolutely did. I never wrote that check. They had to scale back the wedding drastically. I heard they ended up hosting a last-minute backyard thing, pizza and Bluetooth speakers. Her real dad couldn't cover the gap. Surprise. The kicker? 3 weeks later, Lily sends me a long email. Half apology, half guilt trip. She said she didn't mean to hurt me. She was just caught up in emotions, and that genes matter. She signed off with, "I hope you'll still be there for the father-daughter dance at my future children's birthdays." I didn't respond. I printed the email, folded it neatly, and placed it inside a file I now keep in my home office. A file labeled Reminders. Because here's the truth. I wasn't her wallet. I wasn't her fill-in dad. I was her father. And when someone tells you who you are or who you aren't, listen. I love that girl like my own. But love without respect? It's just servitude. And I'm nobody's ghost dad. So, yeah, I walked away. And I took my checkbook with me. But maybe, just maybe, I also took my dignity back too. Was I the a-hole for walking out? Would you have stayed and paid anyway even after that speech? Or was I justified in pulling the plug after being publicly erased? Let me know in the comments, and tell me, what would you have done?